All right, well, welcome in. Looks a little different right now. Waiting on Major to join us. Kane and Kane and Dylan hit or miss today. Not sure, but we will proceed. Um, Big weekend of football. I've got Major getting set up right now, and we will be ready to go here in just a few seconds. Um, Man, not gonna lie. In case you can't tell by the background, I'm excited about the Tide, and a it's just full Bama right now because I can't go off anything else. So that's what you're getting. You're getting the full Bammer Joey today, and um, that's what we're going to roll with. And so Major will be hopping on with me in just a second, letting him finish getting set up right now, and then we'll move on with it. And we have it's our first Sunday show. Um, we had some scheduling things, and honestly, you get us when you get us because there's no telling when we could go live, and that's what we're sticking to. So I hope everybody enjoyed their weekend. I hope everybody's enjoying watching these games. The Saints are finishing up. Saints Dolphins put up 70. My goodness. Tua went on absolute today, and, and and so yeah, I haven't kept up much outside of the drudging of Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos by their former team, or not their former team. Sorry, by Tua, and man, the it's a good fantasy day if you happen to have Wizard on your team. So yeah, let's get started. I hope everybody is ready. Let's bring on Major. What's up, Major?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Man, just it's funny is that almost for an hour now I've had this pulled up, and then even though it seems to be like the theme, right? So like the unrivaled
Yeah.
sports theme is we're going to be late, and so that's kind of funny that literally had this pulled up for an hour. Every week we seem to get just a little off track. I mean, you had some different plans prior to the show, uh, but yeah, how was uh, how was your weekend?
It was good. I heard you talking about being excited for Alabama, and I think you should be about as excited about Alabama as I am Auburn right now.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say Alabama played their best game of the year yet. I definitely think they played better against Texas at home, even though they lost. Jalen had two interceptions. I think yesterday was a foot in the right direction. Watch the Auburn game through its entirety, and you want to talk about a QB situation? I don't. I would take Jalen Milrow over any of the two guys lining up behind center for Auburn right now, and
Yes,
um,
no doubt. They
yeah,
they just look absolutely horrible. If Auburn had an offense, they could probably be a contender in the SEC right now, but because their defense is pretty stout, but they have absolutely no offense. They have no quarterback. We can't get things rolling in the right direction. I don't know. I'm just telling you, as an Auburn fan sitting right here, we're after this week, the next 3 games in a row, we'll be 0-4 after 4 games over the next 4 weeks. So
well, that's tough. I mean, I do think that Hugh is going to. He's kind of been dealt the hand he's been dealt at this point. Um, with the quarterback situation, and then also on the wide receivers. Um, I know it's been a big factor, like who's going to be that breakout receiver for Alabama. Um, we still have guys that can get a little separation. Um, but even when Auburn had separation yesterday, the passes were horrible. I mean, there's and I'm not sitting here. No, I'm draped in crimson, and uh, you know, I watched the crimson goggles, but at the same time, I mean, I sat there and watched that game. It's 11 o'clock game. That's usually my best mindset. If I plays after the 11 o'clock, that's usually when I'm most focused. Um, but I mean, it was not. Yeah, defense looks great. I think the defense gave up a few big plays when Max Johnson came in. They had not prepared for that. Um, I had a friend of mine over yesterday for the game, and a little excited when they knocked Texas A&M's quarterback out, and I was like, well, Max Johnson's coming in, and everybody has their opinion about Max Johnson. He comes in, he throws two touchdown passes on 2 drives, and
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, you got to put up points. And I mean, I think the only touchdown, correct me if I'm wrong, the only touchdown Auburn scored was a defensive touchdown, scoop and score.
Yes, that was the only touchdown that they scored yesterday, and I told everybody leading into that game if we were going to be in it, that our defense would keep us in it, and if we won the ball game, it would be our defense that won it, not our offense.
Right.
And our defense scored the only touchdown yesterday. So, I mean, we could have held them to just 2 field goals. Our defense would have won the ball game 7-6.
Yeah.
Uh, but I don't know, man. I know it's Hugh Freeze's first year, and I hope everybody's giving him a chance. And understanding that he's playing with players that he didn't really
No,
recruit.
he
You know,
didn't recruit them.
I
I mean,
mean,
Brian Harson drove that bus into the ground,
oh man,
and
I'm talking about drove it in the ground and jumped off on the way. Like didn't he wasn't
yeah.
like a good captain and went down with the ship. He drove it into the ground. He jumped off. He jumped out the door on the way down.
Well, in his defense, he couldn't go down with the ship because he was in the
Well,
middle
well
of the season, and
let's just say he had it headed in the right direction.
yeah, not heading. It was heading straight for that iceberg.
Yes, yes, he had it in drive and put the brick on the gas pedal and jumped out. Okay, let's just put it that way. But
You mean
you know,
Jimmy threw him, but either way, I mean, yeah, it's not a good. I don't know. I mean, Auburn's still in that, and that was one thing that bothered me about the Cal game, and, and don't think for a second that I think Alabama we can write off Auburn come November. That would be stupid, but in that Cal game where they said we don't, I'm not worried about the jersey. Like, okay, but it's still Auburn. Some of us are.
hey, check your chat.
Yeah, got it. Had some internet issues today, so it's may just need to let it sync up a little better. I'm not sure why. Internet's been good, but
No, you're okay. And look, I'm just gonna go ahead because I've been waiting to talk to somebody about this, and we'll talk to the whole world, all of our millions of fans that are listening.
I know
Um,
for a fact. Can I go
God,
ahead and place a? Can I place a bet?
go ahead.
I will bet everything I own, everything in the world that you're about to bring up Colorado.
No, actually, so you would have just lost. I
I
am
thought
going
for
to talk
sure.
about. I am going to talk about 2 things. And my God, if one of the millions of people that are watching us out there around the world will share this and get it to the coaches. I don't have anything invested in Notre Dame. I hate Ohio State.
Yeah,
Um, and watching that game yesterday, you kind of felt how it was going to play out. Okay, it was a dogfight,
yeah,
and you as a coach have got to put up points whenever you need points.
yeah.
And that coach for Notre Dame not kicking 2 chip shot field goals in the first half. If he does that, that game ends up 2017. Okay, let's just put that out there. I mean, that's 6 points you don't put up on the board in a close ball game in a dogfight. And man, like I said, I have nothing for either team, but by God, dude, that pissed me off to the point yesterday that I almost had to double up on my blood pressure pills. I mean,
Man,
I was hot. I was because I hate Ohio State. Let's just be honest. I do
yeah.
not like Ohio State. So I kind of
Who
wanted Notre
does?
Dame to win the ball game, and not to mention that I'd kind of picked Notre Dame and Oregon to go high whenever we did our first show this year. I liked both of them. But
Yeah,
besides that, you got like 2 minutes or so left in the ball game, something like that. You've got a 6-year guy, been playing football for 6 years. He's proven he's a great quarterback. He's done it all game long, and you don't trust him to try to go get you a few first downs on that last possession before they punted it away and got beat. Like, what are you doing? I absolutely can't stand it. Like in close games, you've got to try. Like, don't run the ball, let them take a timeout, throw a screen pass that gets deflected, and now you got that's like a second timeout because the clock stops. And then you try something. I don't even know what the hell they tried because I guess the running back went the wrong way. And now you're putting the ball away and giving them plenty of time to go down there and score.
Yeah.
Like, give your quarterback a proven guy who I think very well deserves talk for the Heisman and probably will by the time this year's over with. Um, a chance to get you a couple of first downs to take that out of the equation. Like, you shouldn't even be at that junction in the game to where you're like, oh, we got to try to run clock off right now. And I don't know. It just pisses me off to no end to watch kids fight. Ryan Day after the game was talking about how his kids fought and they come back and they won the ball game. No, Notre Dame coaching lost that ball game for Notre Dame. You
Yeah.
you you didn't win that ball game. Notre Dame coaching lost that ball game. Let's just be honest, Ryan Day. Um, so get it out there. I don't know. And then the second thing I'm gonna bring up is the Minnesota game. And I'm sorry, we don't really have a script. So I'm just
All
going off a couple of things that pissed me off yesterday. I didn't have any money on Minnesota. I don't know Minnesota that well. I don't care about Minnesota, but they're up. I forget how many points. And Northwestern comes back, and
Yeah.
with like 50 something seconds left, they go to this excuse me, this stupid prevent defense and let Northwestern go down there and score a touchdown, and then they had to go in overtime and they get beat. Like, you have put a stop to the offense most of the game. And with 50 seconds left, you don't run your defense. You go to a prevent defense and give up chip shot, chip shot, chip shot, chip shot, chip shot, all the way down the field to a touchdown. I
Yeah.
absolutely hate it. I cannot stand stupid coaching. We need to do like a whole entire thing on stupid coaching, but it is what it is. And we just lost Joey. I wish I could screenshot that face he's making as he's leaning back. If any of y'all are watching, can see that. Uh, so yeah, if for those of y'all that are watching, and Joey's maybe trying to get hooked back up, he may be having some internet issues, but yes, I can't stand stupid coaching. Stupid coaching really pisses me off. I hate to see kids that try and play a whole game and fight, and then coaching cost them a ball game. I mean, these guys get paid millions of dollars to make the right decisions, and they don't make the right decisions. And I'm sitting at home making peon money, screaming at the TV, "You got to do this! You got to do this!" I'm just an armchair coach that should be making millions of dollars apparently because I know what I'm doing. And we are not sponsored by Barks Root Beer, by the way.
Are you drinking? Are you drinking root beer?
Yeah, I'm drinking a root beer.
Am I back?
Yes, you are back.
Good deal.
I'll t-
Just
I'll
like
tell
the
you,
tide.
just like the tide. Yeah. So yeah, man. I mean, I hate stupid coaching. It was a great slate of football this past weekend. I really enjoyed it. I'm just gonna be honest with you. After watching as much football as I did, I was exhausted. Like,
Oh
the
yeah.
wife, the wife told me earlier. She was like, "You can watch football if you want to," and I was like, "No, you can watch whatever you want to." I had enough football yesterday. I hadn't even watched the game today.
I'm done. Yeah, I watched a little NFL today, and I'll tell you a couple games that really kind of drew my attention. And thank God for the Pac-12 network on YouTube TV. UCLA and Utah looked really good. That was a pretty close game. But I'll tell you, Oregon State and Washington State, that was a good freaking football game yesterday.
Yes.
38-35. Um, so that was cool. Just I mean, it's hard for me to I would assume, just like most people when it comes to their team, like it's hard for me to. I don't want to flip channels. I don't want to do this and that. But once our game's over, I mean, I'm just looking. I think the 11 o'clock slate was decent. I really kind of expected a lot of Auburn and Texas A&M. That Oklahoma
There you go.
Cincinnati game was kind of a blowout. I mean, I say it was a blowout 6, but I
That
mean, it's
that
just.
game should have been like 42-6. I don't know what Oklahoma was doing yesterday.
Absolutely.
I mean, they played
Well, but I think
that
that's just
mm,
kinda Oklahoma,
and maybe it is. I mean, they played that trash defense from Cincinnati and couldn't put up. I mean, I don't know.
which doesn't make sense too. Well, I guess it's because Venables is a defensive, coordinator. He's not a head coach.
Yeah,
Um, that may explain it. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I think the slate yesterday, at least through the top 25, was decent. I mean, even UAB goes into Athens and puts up 21. I mean, I know they got blown out 49-21, but I mean, UAB kind of pretty excited to go into Athens, and I mean, they showed it. I do
yeah.
think that the top four is very. I don't think I'm not going to say that Georgia isn't the best team in the country, but it wouldn't surprise me if they lost a game or two. Honestly, they still have Florida and Tennessee.
Yeah.
The rest of that side of the conference is trash. I think Missouri could give them a run. I still don't think Missouri's that good. Um, but I think the top four overall is pretty. It's anybody's game at this point. If you're outside of the top four, I mean, Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Texas may be the best team in the country, and the only reason they're the best team in the country is because they came into Tuscaloosa and beat Alabama. Outside of that, they're vulnerable too.
Well, Georgia, like you said, could lose possibly 2 games if they're not careful. Because if they come out slow against Tennessee or Florida, and those 2 teams were clicking, they could do it. And Missouri's not bad. They really could give them a run for their money. And Michigan, I guess
Michigan,
their defense is their defense is pretty stout. I worry about their offense because they're kind of one dimensional. I mean they've got Corum and Edwards back there running the ball, but to me they're more one dimensional. Like if anybody puts a stop to the run, I think who is it, McCarthy back there is gonna have a
yeah.
lot of trouble. Texas looks for real. Ohio State, I think. Let's see, looking outside of Ohio State, I think Florida State could beat them right now. I think Washington could beat them right now. I think Oregon could beat them right now. Um,
Oh, I would love to see Oregon against Michigan. I think that game wouldn't even be close. I
yeah,
think it would be. I think it would be a drudgeoning. Is that a
yes.
word?
Uh,
Drudgening is a word.
sounds good. I mean, look, I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess the new is this the new
maybe
rankings
maybe
I'm looking at?
bludgeoning.
Bludgeoning, that's it.
Uh, yeah, I don't think I haven't seen the new rankings. I'm kind of going off of what the rankings were yesterday.
Hold on just a second. Let me look
And
at the
I honestly think that Penn State is probably the best team in the Big Ten.
let's see. So this has got to be the new rankings: Georgia, Michigan, Texas, Ohio State, Florida State, Penn State, Washington, USC, Oregon, Utah, Notre Dame. So I'm guessing that's the new ones, but
That'd be top 10. So Notre Dame lost one game and they dropped to 10 from 9, or are they at 9?
no, they're at number 11. So Utah
They
moved
dropped two
above them.
spots.
Yeah, Utah moved above them. I'm
Where's it
trying to look
tied
out.
at?
Alabama is at number 12 behind Notre Dame.
Uh, okay. So
Um,
we move up one.
well, I'm gonna tell you, I think right now, if if I had to do, Good lord! I mean, it would be tough, but after watching USC play last night, I've been saying their defense
USC's
is
not good.
their defense is not very good. I mean, I think Oregon's going to beat them, but I got to after watching football games, like I understand Penn State's good, but I think Washington and Oregon could beat them right now. I think
Yeah.
Washington and Oregon could beat Ohio State. So to me, right now, like I know Florida State's good, but if I had to give my top four right now, I'd say Georgia, Michigan, Texas. Golly, Washington looks strong. And then Oregon. I would go Oregon, then Washington, then Florida State, then Penn State. And people call me crazy, but I watched a lot of football yesterday, and I'm just telling you, I mean, I know Florida State beat Clemson yesterday, but ooh,
Yeah, but that was yeah, I mean, Clemson's 2-2 now. I definitely thought Clemson had Florida State's number yesterday. That would have been one I lost. I think they did cover if you're betting on it, but yeah, I mean, I think Florida State is a good team, but I think they have a lot of stuff going on, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, Travis can score, you know, points, and he's an exceptional player. But I do think that defense is going to struggle, especially when they hit teams like Miami. That Miami team is not great offensive, like on defense, but they can score points.
yep,
They still have to play Duke, I believe. Duke's had a pretty solid season so far. Um, but again, that's their schedule. So I mean, they're probably Florida State's probably going to wind up in the college football playoff uh, this year. You know, I still think I don't know. I mean, I know that they're. Let's see. I don't know what the divisions are, but I know North Carolina and Duke are coastal. I think Florida State has to play Duke,
yes, so
correct?
that's what I was
And
just
so
looking at.
if they play North Carolina, it's probably going to be in the ACC championship, which will
So,
probably be in Charlotte.
I mean, if you look at it right now, so their games left are Virginia Tech next week, and then Syracuse and Duke. Duke's going to give them a run for their money. Then Wake Forest, Pitt, and then they got Miami, which that'll be a good ball game. And then they end up with North Alabama and Florida on rivalry week.
Rivalry.
Rivalry week.
So is that Duke game? Is that Duke game at home
It is at home.
in Tallahassee?
Yes.
What about the Pitt game? Is it on the road?
Hold on just a second. Let me pull it back up. Let's see. They got Virginia Tech at home, Syracuse at home. They play Duke at home, Wake Forest at Wake Forest, Pitt at Pitt. They've got Miami at home and Florida in the swamp.
So they could lose two. I think that Pitt game in Pitt is probably going to be their toughest challenge.
Who do they play after Pitt? I always look for look ahead games.
Yeah, but
Now they've got Miami the week after Pitt.
at home though.
Yeah, but that's still one of those look ahead traps. I'm always looking for look ahead traps, and that's a look ahead trap there.
Well, that could be that. Yeah, that might that it could be a and even Miami coming into Tallahassee at at Dokes. I mean, it could be a loss. I mean, I think Miami's going to score points.
Yes, absolutely.
And their defense isn't horrible. I mean, they shut down Texas A&M pretty well, but um, yeah, it'd be interesting. It'll be interesting to see.
And look, I mean, we're talking about this top 25 and stuff right now, but Washington State has beat Wisconsin, who I think is a pretty decent team. Their defense isn't great and their quarterback play isn't great, but they're a pretty decent team, and they beat them. And then they beat a really good Oregon State team this week. It was kind of fun watching those two, like you were talking about. And what I
Yeah.
liked about it is you had to spread it out, throw it downfield a lot. You had Card slinging the ball around, and then you had Oregon State on the other side that was just hammering the ball with Martinez and I forget the other kid's name. He's the backup, McKinney or something, or I don't know. I said that completely wrong, I'm sure. But you got the ground and pound, just running the rock against a spread out type, just air it out offense. I mean, it was fun to watch those two different kinds of offenses just kind of play with each other this weekend. It was pretty good.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. This is something I was kind of thinking about prior, and I really, yeah, I know we don't really do a script, but I like to think of things to ask. Do you think, just judging off Oregon's performance through the season, Washington's performance through the season, obviously I feel like USC is probably going to lose two. I think Utah may get USC, and then obviously, if they play Oregon. Um, do you think this is the first time that we could see the Pac-12? Because the only well, I guess last year we had, what was it, Michigan and Ohio State?
Uh,
No, it wasn't Michigan. It wasn't last year, was it?
you're talking about when Michigan and Ohio State were up there, but didn't they play each other and
Well,
one lose? So
outside of Alabama and Georgia, there's only the SEC is the only conference to be able that's had two teams from the same conference in the college football playoff.
yeah, so right now I'm looking at
So
Oregon's
could this be a
schedule.
year? Could this
So
be a year where we could see two Pac, because the Pac-12 is loaded, honestly.
yeah, and I mean you could, but that would take some of the other people above them to lose because I'm looking at it right now. So you've got Oregon and Washington play in 2 weeks. So one of those has got to lose, and then Oregon and Washington State play in 3 weeks. So Oregon has Washington and Washington State and Utah back to back to back.
And they also have Oregon State at the end of the year.
Yeah. So I mean we're and I mean look, I mean they've got some tough ball games coming up. So we're going to learn a lot about them in 2 weeks. I think, good Lord, that Oregon Washington game is going to be 130 points scored in it.
Yeah, I don't know if the over's probably going to come in around
If it could,
78,
if it
but
if it comes in below 100, I'm taking it.
well, I don't know if I've ever seen a game with the over at over 100.
Well, I don't.
I
There's
don't think I've ever.
there's a first
I don't
time
know if
for
it's ever
everybody.
happened. Yeah,
If I was the bookies, that's what I would do. I'd make everybody think twice because everybody would look at that and go, 100 points? Are you kidding me right now? I'm taking the under, and they would kill it.
yeah. All right. Well, what else outside of Alabama and Auburn? What else caught your attention yesterday?
Man, so dude, I don't.
That was a big Colorado setup, by the way.
That's what I was going to say. Like, look, I have been on the train rooting for Dion, and I love what he's doing out there. He's doing a really good job, but he's got to get some guys with some size to him to play with some of these bigger teams like the Oregons, the Washingtons, the USCs. Now if USC comes out and plays next week like they did they did last night,
Yeah,
Colorado, Colorado could beat USC. But man, I
well, I
just
think so.
I tried telling people and I tried telling people. I had some arguments on Twitter or X with people about the game. Um I even predict this was my prediction for the game under one guy's. He was like going on and on about Colorado and how they were going to beat Oregon, and people were crazy to think that Dion couldn't do it. So I commented under it and I gave him my prediction for the game. I said Bo Nix throws for 300, 3 touchdowns, an interception, has 45 yards rushing, a rushing touchdown, and Oregon wins the ball game 48-10. I wasn't far off. I mean, I really wasn't. I wasn't far off on that game. Uh, excuse me. I was pretty close on everything. So, uh, I think Oregon looks pretty good, and Colorado could win some more ball games. They're going to have it tough. Let me pull up their schedule right now. Let's see, where's Colorado at? Give me just a second. So Colorado has USC coming up next, and then they've got Arizona State, who played USC pretty well last night, but I think Colorado will win that. And then they've got Stanford, then they've got UCLA, which may be a good game. And then they're looking at Oregon State and then Washington State and Utah. So they could, let's see. I don't know about that game next week. USC should beat them, so I think they're going to lose there. They should beat Arizona State. That's 1-1. They should beat Colorado. That's 2-1. Going to be a tough game with UCLA. They should beat them 3-1. Oregon State, they're probably going to lose. That's 3-2. Arizona, they'll beat. That's 4-2. Washington State, they'll lose 2, so that's 4-3, and they'll probably lose to Utah because Cameron Rising. So they'll probably go 4-4 over the next 8 games.
Well, that's definitely. I guess that's tough for them.
Yeah, but I mean, they just won
Definitely a
one
tough
ball game
slate, but
last year, so
yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, so that would make them. Let's see, they're 3. So give them 8 wins. It puts them in a bowl game.
yeah, I mean, they're definitely going to a bowl game, no doubt. Like I said, he's just got to
So I mean,
recruit.
you think? So let me ask if Dion lands in the Birmingham Bowl against Auburn, are you making the trip?
No, because I'm not going to watch Colorado beat Auburn 45-10.
Yeah, that would be rough, wouldn't it?
I'm, I'm just
Hey, it's a
saying.
lot worse than watching a lot worse than watching Northwestern beat them.
Oh my God. I mean, I'm serious. Like, I love my Auburn Tigers, but we I think we got this year. Well, next year, I think Freeze will probably bring in a quarterback, and then by year 3, things should be clicking with Freeze and his offense and everything. So I
I don't think it's going to take Hugh that. I don't think it's going to take him that long. Honestly, I think he'll get some stuff straightened out. I really feel like Auburn probably doesn't lose against Arkansas. Um, and honestly, I don't think they lose to Ole Miss. Just because I think if you keep giving Hugh Freeze a little time, he's gonna that offense kind of gonna get worked out. They got great running backs. So I mean, I really see Auburn still kind of landing around that 7-win, 8-win. Um, but I mean, we'll honestly have to see. It's just I know I've seen Auburn do this before. I've seen it, and you're not going to tell me that this is a 6-win team. There's too much talent. Even what's his name did to on the recruiting trail prior to Hugh Freeze taking over. I just don't. It's Auburn, and I don't really see them having a 6-win season this year.
Well, let's see. I'll give you my prediction. They're 3-1 right now. They'll be 3-2, 3-3, uh, 3-4, 4-4, 5-4, 6-4, 7-4, 7-5, 7-5.
So did A&M drop out of the top 25? Like this is the team that everybody predicted to win the West, except I mean until we saw or after we saw Alabama's offensive line, and then
Yeah, so Texas A&M, it looks like is out of the top 25.
that's strange.
Yeah, I mean, but that not. I mean, there's a lot of really good teams in that top 25 right now, though. I mean, I think all of them that are in the top 25 are deserving to be in the top 25. Uh, I mean, does A&M deserve to be up there? I don't know, but I mean, you look at the rest of these teams. I mean, yeah, I mean,
I think LSU. I think the LSU that game's on the road. If it was at home, I would feel a little different about it. You do get Georgia at home next week, and this is one of those. This is one of those games for Auburn that I really feel like, because we talked about Georgia prior about how this is not the same Georgia team of last year. I know
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sitting
yeah,
here
yeah,
again, crimson goggles, this and that. This is a game that Georgia could come into Jordan Hare and lose, and it really could happen. I'm not saying that I'm willing to put money on it, but if you told me that if I woke up tomorrow, I went to a coma. And I woke up Sunday morning, and the first thing out of your mouth was, "Hey, by the way, while you were out cold, Auburn beat Georgia." I'd go, "Okay, yeah, makes sense," because that's how this always works. I do think that LSU game's a loss in Death Valley.
yes.
Um, Ole Miss is at home. Mississippi State's at home. You got Vandy at Vandy. That's a win. I don't care. That actually that would be a very Auburn thing to do is to beat Georgia and then Ole Miss is Mississippi State and then lose to Vandy.
Lose the van.
Arkansas is on the road. Arkansas is on the road. That could be a loss. You got a win versus New Mexico, and then you got Alabama, who has shown all of their vulnerabilities this year. So that could be a win. I mean, I honestly think best case scenario, Auburn loses 3 games from here out. That best case scenario. I mean,
I look,
worst case scenario, they drop them all. But
I hope you're right. I 100% hope you're right.
oh,
But
I know.
I don't.
And that's the thing is that, like I know it's hard because the same thing if you go to the Alabama side, right? Like in my expectations, we run the table here.
Yes.
Do I think that the team that showed up on the field yesterday with that defense could beat Georgia in Atlanta? Absolutely. I do think that. Am I wrong? More than likely. But that's just where that's just where we are. Like that's just Georgia is not unbeatable.
Yeah.
And they've shown that. I think South Carolina didn't do a good enough job against them. I mean, I think UAB scored more points than South Carolina did. But Georgia's got some tough games too. So
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't know.
there's a lot of tough football left for people. And looking at Alabama, I mean, they've got Mississippi State on the road. That's a win. They've got A&M
Yep.
on the road.
Mm.
I think they'll win that ball game. Um, and then they've got
I think
Arkansas
if
at
they, I think
home.
if Alabama builds on the momentum that should be, I'm not gonna. I know how Saban runs everything, and it's like a 24-hour rule. Like, look, that's what they're doing today. They're enjoying the win. I'm sure the coaches are in meetings. The kids are off. They're getting rest of it. Then Monday, it's full blown Mississippi State. Everything that's getting crammed down their throat for Mississippi State. But at the same time, that was a big for this team, for this Alabama team. I'm not saying for Alabama as a whole, but for this team, that was a big win yesterday.
Oh,
To be
no
able to
doubt.
come back at 7-6 at the half, they come out, they get they come out, they get a stop, and then they go on to win 24-10. Like that's a big deal. That's a big momentum thing for this team.
Yeah,
So, is it how we drew it up as Alabama fans? Absolutely not. But
I think the only, I mean, like, I really think they'll beat Tennessee. And I know you love that, but
oh, we're beating Tennessee. We are beating Tennessee.
so I
If
think
I have to, if I have to go drag Josh Heupel off the field and and murder him, can we say that on YouTube? I don't know if we can say that on
probably
YouTube.
shouldn't have, but okay.
Probably should. I will literally. I do not like. He is a Phil. God, I can't get started on this. I need to save it for October. I don't like him. I don't like him. I hate Tennessee. I
Um,
hate, hate Tennessee.
well, I really think they'll handle Tennessee. Um, But the only game on there right now, looking at it, that's scary to me is LSU. Because what LSU team are you going to get? You
Yeah.
know,
Well, luckily we get LSU at home. That's the bigger thing. If we were turning around playing in Death Valley, last year, I mean, they beat us in overtime. You know, Bryce had exceptional moments, but we're at home this year, and so I do feel a little bit better about that. I still think we can lose the game, but what a crazy stat too. When was the last time that Alabama lost 2 home games under Nick Saban? I'm
Whew.
guessing it's 2007
I was
because
going
we
to
lost to Louisiana Monroe, but
say probably his first year coaching. I would say. I mean, because I don't think he's lost more than 2 games since after
well,
2007
I
season, has
know
it?
for a fact that we lost LSU and we lost to well in '07. When did we break the Auburn streak? Because that was a home game. That would have been '07. That no, that was '08.
Sorry, I was
So
trying
yeah,
to.
'07 would have been it because we lost to Louisiana Monroe, we lost to LSU, we lost 5 games that year. So I'm guessing that '07 would have been the last time Alabama lost 2 home games. We've never since '07 have lost a home game to a non-conference opponent.
Sorry,
So that's,
you. I'm
Texas got us on that one.
sorry. I was trying to read some of the comments and stuff because I haven't had them pulled up, and I'm trying to share it to some different page. And let's see, Cole
Out,
Stevens.
out here being a good producer.
Yeah, so Cole was asking, "Do you see two of stats a day?"
Yeah,
Um,
too. Yeah, he's my quarterback on fantasy. So
Drew Hall said, "I need to wear another shirt next time." Negative there, Drew Hall, not doing that. And then Stefan said, "How about them Spurs?" Uh,
yeah, the Tottenham Hotspurs.
what?
Big win today.
Oh, that must be that. That must be that.
Soccer.
Oh yeah, that
It's that soccer thing.
that kick
Yeah,
that kickball. I didn't think he.
kickball.
Yeah, I didn't think he was talking NBA because I didn't think they were playing yet. But
Yeah, I can probably actually it was actually a tie with Arsenal. But they're turning things around. That's me and Stefan's. That's our football. He's way more involved than I. I'm more just I have FOMO when it comes to sports, and so I have to have a team, right? So like I have to have a uh team to pull for. And I did. I liked Arsenal for a while, and then Stefan got me going on the old Hotspurs, and uh man, it's kind of like being an Auburn fan. So I get it's
yeah,
if you want to feel more Auburn than being an Auburn fan, like go be a Hotspurs fan. It'll make you want to just drink bleach.
yes, Drew Hall. We did talk about the Ohio State Notre Dame game earlier. I gave my two
Yeah, we
cents
can.
on that crap.
Yeah, we can talk about that a little bit too. And we talked about the Ohio State. We talked about the top four being susceptible to losses going forward. I do think that Ohio State and Michigan are the worst teams in the top four, 100%.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
think Penn State is the best team in in that conference. Um, and I don't think I've ever actually went on record as saying anything good about Penn State. So James Tipton should really. I hope he's watching
yes. I,
because James is a huge Penn State fan. Um,
yeah, I mean, look, Penn State's really good on defense, and I
Penn State's
know
a good football team. It's
Mich
a good football team.
Michigan's good on defense, but so is Penn State. But the difference
Yep.
is Penn State isn't what's the word I'm looking for? They're not one dimensional. Um, you can make Michigan one dimensional. I mean, if you stop the run, I don't think JJ McCarthy and his receivers can beat you. Penn State
Yep.
can run the ball. They have two great backs and Allen and Singleton. They've got two they've got two really good wide receivers out there that Aller can throw the ball to. So I mean, you can't make them one dimensional, and they're really good on defense. So I think they could beat Ohio State or Michigan right now, hands down.
Yep. Well, that would be. We're definitely going to see it because I think they have to play both of them this year.
Yes.
So
So yeah, I mean so I'm just trying to look ahead a little bit for something. I know we don't never have a script, so I was trying to look ahead at this week coming up to try to see if there's anything about some ball games we want to talk about.
I think we do better without a script. I think especially when it's the OG crew, me and you,
Yeah.
like we're really good about just sitting here and just talking football. And I mean, we can talk about anything really, but
So
yeah, I mean, if you want, we can talk whatever.
I mean, so this
I
coming
think.
up week, Friday night, you got Utah and Oregon State, which I think is going to be a good ball game. I
Ooh,
Man, I don't know when Cam
that's gonna be a good
Rising is
game.
coming back. So I mean, golly, that's going to be a good game. If Cam Rising comes back, that's going to be a really good game. I mean, even without him, it's going to be a
Yeah.
good game.
Did you see? Are you on ESPN by chance? Like
Uh,
right now?
yeah, I'm on the app.
Did you see the story that came out? I was going through Auburn's schedule, and there's like an article that said it's about Jimbo where he almost got ran over
Oh, you talking about when his
during the
dumbass, I
game?
mean, dumb self stepped on the field when the kid intercepted the
Yeah,
ball or whatever? Yeah, he was like
yeah,
4 or 5 yards on the field screaming at a referee during the middle of a play. And
yeah. And I really wish, like, I hate the guy anyways. Like, there's not many people that I can really just put that tag on outside of like anybody that dons the color orange, the Tennessee orange, and Jimbo Fisher. Like, that's just it. Like, there's Phil Fulmer, Josh Heupel, anybody that plays on that team, and then Jimbo. Like, that's it. Like, I don't hate a lot of people, but when I do hate you, it's strong.
look, I'm like,
I wish that all. I wish, like, swear, I would throw on a Auburn visor and jersey tomorrow if Jimbo Fisher would have got trucked and wound up like his just in the hospital. I cannot stand the guy, and that's hateful. I know. I'm sorry for all the kids watching. Um, God, I just don't. I don't like the guy,
yeah.
and I don't think I ever.
I wanted so bad for a defensive lineman to come downfield to go block.
God, it would have been so good. I'm telling you, like and he's like, "Oh, I'm just lucky I didn't get run over." Like, yeah, because you were on the field of play,
Yeah,
you should have got run
during the
over.
middle of a play, screaming at a referee while a play's going on. I mean,
You're not Nick Saban. Like, get off the field.
not Nick Saban. Oh God, here we go.
uh,
Excuse me.
But yeah, I mean, I think next week you're right. I mean, there are some really good games. And that's the thing is we've really hit that. And this happens every year. Like we tiptoe in the first couple of weeks with football games, and we sit here and Alabama plays some nobodies, and even the Texas game was I mean, it was a big game, it was an exciting game, but that slate week 2 was not that great. I mean, I had to watch Auburn play at freaking 1 a.m. and but now we've hit that point. Yesterday was an outstanding slate. This week coming up is an outstanding slate, and we've hit that point where it's just all gas, no brakes for the rest of the year, except for that week before rivalry weekend,
yeah,
rivalry
right
weekend.
before Rivalry Week. Uh,
Yeah. So I mean, and I
yeah,
know there's probably not a ton of people watching right now, but um, we have a history on this show of like we're the only show outside of maybe Rick and Bubba that has more speech impediments than any other show out there. Like we can't pronounce words, like we can't. And there's another word I can't remember what it is. God, we talked about it on the first episode of the Offsides podcast. Um,
you mean to go along
God,
with the
you
Miracle Whip?
said it, and well, it was Miracle Whip, but you
Oh,
said it, and I can't remember what that word is, but it's so funny every time.
was it when we were talking about Ready Whip and I said Ready Whip?
No, it didn't have. It didn't have. No, it's a football. I think it's a football term. It's not rivalry. Rivalry. Um, God, it's so funny. I'll have to go back and look. But yeah, we do. We struggle with some words here,
We do.
and it's always a good. It's always so funny.
We're
Uh,
and mostly it's me. I mean, between the words and talking about putting Miracle Whip
shit,
in
I can't. Yeah.
banana pudding, I mean, come on now. It's a good show.
Oh, it's a fantastic show. What'd you cook? What'd you cook yesterday?
I really didn't do much, man. I'm telling you, like I got up and so man, you want to talk about exhausting. So real quick, so uh not only am I trying to watch football, but now I'm in charge of props on Double Down. Uh, so
Oh, wait a minute.
oh yeah,
Got a promotion.
oh yeah. So uh, like last week and Thursday night was like, bro. I mean, Thursday night, I think we put 10 out and hit 9 of them.
Man.
And it was almost a sweep, and I can't remember who cost us, but so this Saturday I got up, got my coffee, got out, I started looking at everything. So what I do is on Saturdays, before the 11 o'clock games, I put out props for 11 o'clock games. Kind of see where we are with that, and then I've got 2:30 slate games, and then see where we are with
Yeah.
that, and then I've got the 6:30 games ready to go. So I put out a total of 53 props yesterday on the college slate. Um, and we hit 33 of them. I mean, we went 33 and 20 yesterday on the college prop side. Um, so it's been a lot having to go in there and study
Yeah.
and see, how defenses do against certain offenses and the way they run it, and then who they got lined up at slot and wide out, and who's in the Z and the X and here and there, and it's just how they cover it, who covers it, everything like that. And I mean, it's a lot, but like I said, it's hard to trust 18 to 20-year-old kids, and I think that's the reason we were 33 and 20 instead of probably 45 and 8, yesterday,
Yeah.
because we were like this close on some, and it just didn't happen. But it's been a lot. I mean, so I don't have time to do a lot when I get up in the mornings as far as cooking wise, because I got a phone in front of me, I got a notebook, I got TV on, I'm listening to it. It's so
So what you're telling me is there's been backdoor deals. There's backdoor deals going on, and I'm not able to approve them.
what on what?
Well, I didn't know you'd been brought on. I thought
Oh yeah, like I started sharing some of my
Oh,
stuff.
here we go. Here we
Hey,
go, guys. Here we
I
go. Here comes the real
I
story.
started sharing some of my stuff with Cash Money, and he was like, "Dang, these things is hitting." And he was like,
Yeah.
"Put some on the double down. Let's see how you do." So I threw some out there, and we did really good. And he
Yeah, for everybody that doesn't know, and I know we're the skeleton crew today.
yeah,
So we got Cash Money Malone and Kane Harrelson, who's our they really just bring so much to the show. Dylan, Cash Money is fantastic when it comes to sports statistics, as we'll call it,
yes,
since we're on Facebook.
yes,
And uh, we did a lot of that last year, and frankly, we're just in so many different seasons in life right now where we're not able to just eventually we'll get on the same page. But Dylan has just been so good when it comes to the statistics. And so if you're not familiar with Double Down Sports, we did it all last year. Uh, you got to hit us up if you're into just having a little fun on Saturdays and Sundays. I think it actually goes deeper. You can really get a good deal on some NHL because he's ice puck
Yes.
Malone in the winter, and
Hockey Puck Chuck is actually back.
hockey puck hockey puck Chuck is the name, and so um, you definitely have to pay a little of attention just to have a little fun during the week. But
Yes.
yeah,
Hey,
so
I
yeah, and
mean,
we actually talked about that. I'm a big props guy. Like I love player props. That's fun to me. I love watching. I like to see receiving yards. I love rushing touchdowns. Um, man, just player props are awesome. And so to see that kind of evolving with us is pretty cool.
yeah, and Dylan, I wish he was here because I don't want to say it wrong, but I think Dylan, Cash Money Malone is at like 86% this year. Um,
That's incredible.
so if any
Incredible.
of y'all, I know there's got to be at least several thousand people watching right now. So if you're interested, you can hit me up. I tell you how to get into some sports investments with us.
Yeah.
But Joey, you're talking about the props. How about let me just share this to you real quick. Today, uh Tua.
Yeah, I was actually about to ask that. I wanted to know how to looked on the overage on yardage. I know he went over on touchdowns.
Yeah, so he was at I think over and under was over 279 and a half. So I
Destroyed
I
it.
didn't take that, but let me give you what I did put out. Tua 2 plus passing touchdowns, Kirk Cousins 2 plus passing touchdowns, Herbert 2 plus passing touchdowns, Pittman plus 5 receptions, Pittman 50 plus receiving, Flowers 4 plus receptions, Jordan Jefferson or Justin
I got to
Jefferson.
say that about Pittman too. That's an interesting take. Just real quick, I hate to cut
No,
you
you're
off.
right.
Pittman lost his quarterback. Anthony Richards sat out today, so they had Gardner Minshew come in,
Yes.
and that's a bold move. That was really good. That's a very I actually have had Pittman in a DraftKings lineup today. So
Yes. I mean, I
um,
figured Minshew was going to have somebody familiar to throw the ball
to
to.
throw the ball to.
And
Yep,
so
exactly.
um
I love how we're on the same page when it comes to a lot of this.
so all of these that I'm reading out to you are hitters.
Yeah,
Justin Jefferson 93 plus receiving yards, Jordan Addison 45 plus receiving yards, Justin Jefferson over 104 and a half receiving yards, Michael Pittman over 58 and a half receiving yards, Kirk Cousins over 1.5 touchdowns, and then the misses so far today. Uh, Jared Goff over 1.5 touchdowns, and Goff 2 plus touchdowns. Um,
really kind of. Yeah, that's actually surprising.
I
Now it's
could
just
not believe it.
I thought Goff would have.
And I mean, oh
I think they struggle. He had one right off the bat, first quarter.
yes, I mean that secondary is terrible right now,
Yeah,
and I mean they've got a lot of
Minnesota is
injuries
not.
and people out, and I mean I'm like, if Goff can't throw for 2 touchdowns against the Atlanta Falcons, who are decimated and sucking at the secondary right now, and of course he doesn't. So, but it is what it is. It's chances you
Yeah,
take. And all we got left really is Pollard over 73 and a half and Pollard 65 plus rushing yards right now. So we'll see how that goes. But
yeah.
I just sharing some with you, just some of the things that
Well, yeah.
I
If you're
put
if you're
out.
not if you haven't yeah if you haven't checked into us yet, I mean, Dylan has had it going on for 2 years now. I mean, on the show, so you got to check him out. It's fun. It's easy to do. We can get you set up. That major's adding the player props. So I mean, there's a lot of value, and I'm big on value when it comes to sports betting. So you can cancel me if you want. Facebook. I said the word bet, and that's fine. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of value to it, and it's fun. It's an easy way to, like, yeah, you can be stupid about it,
Yes, absolutely.
and you can learn you can lose money, but you can listen to Dylan and Major, and you can make some money. And actually, Kane, I was talking to Kane. Me and Kane coach soccer together, and we were talking last week, and he actually told me he was like, I'm not going to go into their business, but I mean the number was really good um, on how he played Dylan's picks, and uh, I mean, it's exciting, it's fun. So if you're not involved and you've toyed with it, you've screwed around in the past, and listen to the guys that we have here because they bring value to it. Um, so that's always cool.
All right, Drew. I don't know how long ago he sent that. Drew said he's getting back to house chores. Y'all have a great day. He's been listening to us. He's commented a couple of things, but I've been paying attention. See, I'm trying to
So
watch this way. So,
I know, but major, one real quick. Drew actually went to high school with my sister at Pinson Valley. He is an exceptional softball player.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, no, I'm telling you, like the guy has like he has sponsorships. Like he's a big deal. I can't believe y'all don't know each other actually
No, I know
as much
Drew.
softball as you play. Okay,
Yeah, I
good.
taught Drew how to hit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well
Yeah,
that makes sense
yeah. I
since
mean,
you're
the only
you're 80.
yeah, the only reason, I mean, I've been around for a long time. I mean, Drew grew up watching me at the ball fields. When he first
Yeah, I
started
bet he
playing
did.
softball.
Yeah,
Now he's
we all did.
yeah.
We all
Hey,
watched you.
and I mean now he's a great ball player, and
Well,
he
he was a
can.
great ball player before he ever came down here and met you. Let me just
Well,
say,
I'm saying,
he
I'm sorry.
played baseball at Pensacola Valley, and he was
Hold on just a
exceptional.
second. Softball player. Let me put it that way.
Uh,
Softball's a
okay.
different beast. And yes, but no, all kidding aside, Drew's a great softball player. And now that I'm older and I can't swing as hard, he can hit it as
Or move
hard.
as fast.
Yeah, I mean, he can hit it as hard and as far as I can now. But back in my 20s and 30s, I would hit balls that made his look like little league t-ball shots. So
I don't believe that for a second, actually.
I've got witnesses.
Well, listen, this has been fun.
It has.
If you got anything else, we'll dive into it. I think and if you're still watching, we have me and Major are going to record. I don't know. I don't know if I can right now. I can't right now, but we need to record the Offsides podcast.
Yes.
Me and Kane are hit. We are definitely recording the Blitz podcast this week. Uh, Man, and honestly, if you and Dylan could get together with you doing the props, if y'all want to record the Double Down podcast,
Yes. I
um, I
actually
know
want to get
I
with
know
you.
Dylan's schedule is yeah.
I want to get with you to see how we do this. Like if you have to set up a link and then me and
Oh
Dylan
yeah,
get together. But we've been talking about it because he also wants to like do some pre-recording. So
yeah,
that maybe we
that'd be
can
great.
edit it out and throw it on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, like have little pieces that we can throw out everywhere. And it's the
Yeah,
same thing with me and you and Kane. We really need to start growing this and these pre-recorded
no,
shows
I
where we
agree. I
can.
definitely agree.
If I knew how to edit it and stuff, and you could show me, like you could send it to me, and we could do that. But we need to get some little 1 to 2, 3 minute things where we're talking about school and send it out, and I don't know. We got a lot of things we could do. We just
Yeah,
ain't had the time. But man, we'll get it all together. We're gonna talk offsides whenever we do the offsides podcast. We'll probably talk some
yeah.
football recipes and some fall recipes and some baseball and some football and all the above. And then me and Dylan. I mean, look, you and Kane actually, I think if you look at it, y'all have a great high school lineup to talk about this coming up week, if I'm not mistaken. Because
Oh
I
yeah.
think I'm not.
Kane brings the heat on high school football. That guy, it's so much fun to. I wish we really could just all four of us schedule more than one time a week because listening to Kane talk about high school football is probably one of the greatest things like outside of family and life like when you talk to me about a hobby doing this show and then doing like every he brings so much to it. He's coached for years. um he understands the high school uh, situation. The environment, everything like that. He's so good, and it's so much fun. I would love for us to do a 4-man high school, blitz show, just because you and Dylan also are so knowledgeable when it comes to high school sports, high school football, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and look, I was saying, I think y'all have a good slate this week because if I'm not mistaken, this week is Baker Saraland. So
Yeah,
and I'm not sure who Foley's playing or Gulf Shores is coming up week, but I know for a fact it's either this week or next week that those two big schools are going to clash in Saraland and Baker, and that's going to be something that I would like to hear Kane talk about, give his 2 cents on, because
yeah.
that's going to be a really good football game that I'm hoping is on TV this weekend.
Yeah, I think me and Kane are good to go. I think Tuesday, or tomorrow actually. Tomorrow I think is because we both coach soccer, and he'll have availability on tomorrow. I think his best judgment will be tomorrow. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna get in touch. We're gonna have that. Hopefully, me and you can do something later tonight. Um, if not, we can shoot for tomorrow. I think that works
yeah. I
works
mean,
for me. So
either way, I mean, any day Monday through Friday after 5, and anytime on Sunday, because I mean, I can watch NFL football, but the only thing I can't do is Saturdays because I'm vested. I
we
mean,
are the only way we go live on a Saturday is if I've had too much juice and we're just doing a recap show
if
late at night.
Alabama and
So
Auburn are off and the other SEC games are just trash, then we might go live on a Saturday.
yeah, I'm always down to do a recap. So yeah, Cole. I think I'm trying to get Cole. We should have done it last week, but we all know about my nap debacle, and so that's why we didn't go live. But Cole wants to do. We want to do like a little a roll tide recap for. I mean, it's all about just growing the channel.
Yes,
Um, so I mean, it's that would be fun. I'd like to get Cole on. He's very knowledgeable when it comes to. He's like me. Like we're both we can both go full Bammer, and it's we've done that since high school, and it's really fun to watch. It's annoying, but it's fun to watch.
hey, a fun
So
show is a good show, though. You
right,
know what I
right,
mean?
yeah, it is. So yeah, we're working on some things, and I know it's just you only have so much time in a day, and hopefully we'll get things worked out where we can do this pretty regularly.
There,
See,
don't
there's that
mess
speech
up. Yeah.
impediment.
Hey, and I really, really want to get to one day where we're going to a couple of these high schools on Fridays if we can ever do that, and
Oh, another thing.
make some
One of
picks.
I've
Like,
got a coach. Rhett Files played at North Alabama. He played at Gulf Shores High School. He's now coaching. He's on the coaching staff at Gulf Shores.
yeah,
He was going to hop on with us today. They had meetings starting at 4, so he couldn't make it today. I'm going to try to get him on the Blitz.
absolutely.
To Yeah, so I mean we're making progress. I know that it doesn't we're not consistent on the lives and stuff like that, but I'm always working to get things going for us here, and
Well,
um
that would be awesome. But one
I
day I
just got
want us out there doing a
yeah.
game day pick live from like a tailgate or something.
That'd be fun.
I mean,
Hey, they're not ready for us.
I really
They're not ready
do.
for that yet.
Like, I want to have a table set up with stuff on it, and we do like I don't know, like we give our picks and stuff, and then like hell, if it's
Well, I'm
Dylan,
definitely I
that has to get up, and act
you're
the fool,
definitely
and put a
doing the
hat on,
headset.
you know.
No, it's you. It's gonna be you're the oldest. Like you're
Oh,
the Corso of the group.
so I'm the Corso of overall. Okay, got you. All right,
Well,
man.
look,
Well, look,
I'll text you here in a little bit. If we can hop on and record tonight, that'd be fun because I have some stuff that I want to run by you. Just not technically football related, but just fun stuff.
Yeah, no
Like I
doubt.
enjoy getting to sit down and talk. So,
Yeah, just hit
but
me up
yeah,
later. I'm not doing anything tonight, so just hit me up later. We can record us like a 20, 30 minute show, something like that.
yeah, sounds good. Well, guys, thank y'all for hopping on. It's been you've got the OG crew here. It's me and Major, and it's been fun. I hope you enjoyed listening to us ramble on about college football because that's what we do best. And man, let's sign it off like we used to. I'm Joey.
I'm Major War Eagle.
Roll Tide, and we'll see y'all next Sunday. And be sure to follow the rest of the shows because we're gonna release some shows this week, the Blitz and Offsides, and it's gonna be a good time.
That's right. Peace out, guys. Y'all have a
All right,
good one.
peace.